Sedin chiche chenabo serje dalo temu monparab sane kadan tinju jonlo topaye lodu pope nangwa taldu so nawangju tul hari konju dondro kunga ze tichin dong alam pende paldu parwe tren lechen Sambel wange japo shabden so. Well, first I wanted to thank you very much for this very kind invitation to share the Dharma with you today, and especially to thank you all, the members of the community, especially Venerable Chuden, for your very generous hosting of the Committee of Western Bhikshunis. Although I don't speak on behalf of the committee, I know that I speak for the committee when I say that everyone is really very comfortable here, very much appreciating the hospitality you've shown us, and also especially very, very inspired by what we see here at Sravastiyabhi, because what you have done here to establish this, and also what all of you have done to create and continue this, is very, very important. As I was saying this morning, I believe that when the history of Buddhism is written in the United States, that Sravastiyabhi will have a chapter. And you guys are the pioneers, so thank you very much. It inspires all the rest of us. I actually don't have that much to really teach or say, but I will just share some of the things that I've kind of experienced while I've been here. One of them is that I've been kind of re-inspired about bodhicitta by seeing the wonderful little notes that you put here and there, and the way that you dedicate various different activities to all sentient beings for the purpose of great enlightenment. Before you eat, for example, or when one's in the restroom or other places. I think this is really, really wonderful. And it has kind of made me think again about the Bodhisattva Charyavatara, which of course is such a beautiful, great statement of enlightenment thought, both wishing and entering enlightenment thought. So while I've been here, some of the verses that have been coming to mind when I was here, I've been thinking about enlightenment thought, and first how important it is, how centrally important it is to our work, whether we're Buddhist or not. But I've been thinking about Shantideva's famous verses, which of course Venerable Chuden has written a wonderful book on this. But in any case, as Shantideva says, when he talks about the importance of enlightenment thought, as you recall, he compares it to a flash of lightning in a dark, cloudy night, which for an instant brightly illuminates all. And then he says, occasionally, by the power of the Buddha, a rare virtuous thought occurs in the world. In other words, this is not only rare in the world, it's also rare in ourselves, actually, as like myself, a beginning practitioner. When it comes, it illuminates us, and it really makes us feel blessed, but it also illuminates the entire world around us. Then he continues saying, hence virtue is perpetually feeble, the great strength of evil being extremely intense. Other than the mind of enlightenment, how else can virtue overpower it, meaning overpower this evil? And I think that as we look within, at least as I look within my own heart and as I look around, when we really think about what can help us to overpower darkness in our own minds or in the world around us, this enlightenment thought is the answer. And Shantideva, such a great master, as well as the Buddha before him, pointed to this as the means for overpowering it. And he continues on about the importance of bodhicitta and describes how helpful it is on our path. He says, those wishing to conquer the hundreds of sufferings of existence, those wishing to dispel the suffering of thousands of beings. Those wishing to experience hundreds of joys should never forsake this enlightenment thought. So we can see that it not only helps to overcome our own unhappiness, it helps to overcome, as he says in the second line, the unhappiness of others, and also experience hundreds of joys. That means for our own selves, it not only overcomes suffering, it helps to bring us joy. Because, as he said, the moment enlightenment thought is born in those bound and weak in the prison of samsara, they will be named a child of the bodhisattvas and revered in the world of gods and humans. Like the supreme gold-making elixir, it transforms this impure body we have taken into the supreme form of a Buddha's body. So firmly hold this enlightenment thought. So he's comparing enlightenment thought to that magical chemical that could turn dross into gold, which, for the case of my own mind, is a very good analysis, how to actually turn this troubled mind of each of us into gold. Enlightenment thought is the key. And I've been thinking, how does this really happen? Is this just kind of fancy words, slightly exaggerated? Is it really that helpful? How is it that this enlightenment thought could really turn dross into gold? Is it true? And thinking, how could it be that actually the wish to benefit others so strong we want to overcome their suffering and provide them every happiness? Could this really work? Is this really such an important thing? And somehow it's, I think, quite like having, as the many masters say, that enlightenment thought is loving each sentient being like you love your only child. So I've been thinking a bit about having children and things like that, because my own sister, who I was very close to, had a child and raised it up. Of course, I didn't have any children, but watching her with her children, and now my niece with her first child, there's something about this having an only child and loving them so much that is classically compared as the metaphor for enlightenment thought.